Okay, this is a video on how to KT tape your toe and your arch, specifically if you're having pain extending your toe back this way. So I'm gonna use a little bit of a darker tape on my skin just so you can see what I'm doing. We are gonna use KT tape, and what we're gonna do is we are gonna divide our KT tape in half. So I'm gonna use a couple different strips. So I'm gonna take 2 KT tape strips. If your edges are not rounded, I recommend rounding them on your own. This is just so that the edge doesn't peel as easily, so it lasts a little bit longer in like a dance shoe or if you're barefoot. And what we're gonna do, okay, so we have 2 strips. We're gonna cut it in half. So I'm just going down the length of the tape. The nice thing about using KT tape is that it's not as bulky, which is really great specifically for gymnasts and dancers, just because you really can't have room for a bunch of tape. So we're gonna take our piece, it's cut in half, rounded on the edges, and I'm just going to tear the middle so that I can easily apply it, and then I can grip the edges without sticking to it. I'm gonna put it on top of my toe, and then I'm gonna come down, so I'm on the top, I'm gonna come down towards the inside of my arch, slightly pulling a pressure down this way, down into my arch, so it's like that. Then I'm gonna take this side, also apply a downward pressure down into my arch. So I'm making basically a little ribbon around my toe, and it goes along the top. Now you can use a skin tone tape, which honestly might feel kind of the best because, or look the best, just because then it's less noticeable, so it's a little more aesthetically pleasing, which is important, of course, for gymnastics and dance. We're gonna do the same thing with a second strip. I just am slightly crossing it over the other strip so the fan is a little bit wider. So then I have, instead of them laying directly on top of each other, they're just slightly offset. Okay, so it pulls my toe down, and then I can still lift my foot, but it has a little bit of support. And then what I'm gonna do is take this strip, and I'm gonna tape my arch. So this one I'm not going to tear. I'm not going to cut in half. I'm gonna just tear the piece on the end and this on the end. Makes it easier to apply. Okay, when we're applying this, we're gonna start underneath our foot, and then I'm gonna tape towards the inside of the foot. So if it's my right foot, I'm coming up to the left. If it's my left foot, I'm gonna come up to the right. So I'm gonna peel off this edge. I'm gonna stick it to the outside of my foot. And then I'm gonna peel off the middle. So that is gone. I'm gonna reach up around my arch. This is just lifting my arch upward. And then I'm just going to set it down nicely. Now, this part here might get a little funky underneath my arch, just with it peeling up. So what I could do is, if I was gonna be in a tennis shoe, I could just tape it as usual, tape it down, or I can cut it so it just sticks over here. Luckily, this piece is actually long enough where it kind of folded up into the inside here. Then what you can do is take a second piece of this long strip and do another arch support. So then I have support through my toe and I have support through my arch. And the nice thing is I can continue to move and use my foot because it's KT tape. But when it stands, or when I stand, I should have a little bit of a lift throughout my arch as well. So hopefully that helps.